Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man's Corner channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I wanted to do another ranking video for you guys, but instead of ranking movies, I figured I'd go ahead and rank every version of Michael Myers' mask, hence why I'm wearing my Michael Myers shirt. Now, I'm not going to be ranking the young Michael's clown masks. I'm just only ranking the ones that he wore as an adult, the white mask. So without further ado, I'll move you up to the screen right here and I'll show you my least favorite. And then we'll work our way up to number one. Okay, coming in at dead last is the Halloween 5 mask. Now, I know it's some people's favorite, but to be honest with you, it ain't mine. I start to appreciate it a little bit more now since it is a mask that Michael wore in the movies, but I agree with everybody else. It looks like a cross between Nicolas Cage and an alien put together. Okay, coming in at my number 15 spot is the KNB Michael Myers mask used in H20. Now, what I heard from interviews with Chris Duran, who played Michael Myers in this movie, he said they started filming off with this mask and the director liked it, but when they took it to dailies, people didn't like it, so they had to reshoot with the retooled H6 mask, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And then he didn't like that, so they had to get Stan Winston to make another mask. So that film crew was in a bind just trying to get a film made just because the mask was the issue. And they had to do several reshoots, including this scene right here where he's looking at her through the window of the door, because you see him wearing the Stan Winston mask when he's looking at her. But when he was walking up towards the gate to try to unlock it to get Laurie's son and his girlfriend, it was this mask. I mean, it was an improvement, better than the H5 one, of course, but it looked like they tried to replicate that again since KNB made the H5 mask, but they tried to make this one lack emotion. I mean, don't get me wrong, Michael Myers don't have any emotions at all, but still, it almost looks like somebody took a piece of fondue and stretched it out and onto a man's face and made a Michael Myers mask off it. That's what I'm getting off of here. It's just so smooth looking. All right, my 14th pick is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 Hobo Myers mask. I mean, I don't mind the whole Hobo Myers aesthetic, but at this point, Michael should have just gotten another mask because it was really rotting rapidly this time. And I hated that the stripper grabbed onto his mask and ripped it because we're not supposed to see Michael's face. And yet you can see Tyler Maine's half face right there. It creeped me out a little bit when he turned his head in that mask and you see his half of his face. It still gives off a creepy presence, but that mask was already done for. Okay, my number 13 spot is Halloween Resurrection. I don't know why. I should have put this up a little bit higher on my list because it is not a bad looking mask. And what I heard was Cinema Secrets was trying to make it look like the H20, but they just changed some of the facial features on it. It ain't a bad looking sculpt, but in certain lighting, it almost looked like Michael is wearing a lot of makeup, even on his lips. But still, it ain't a bad sculpt, since I got a Trick or Treat Studios one. Let's get to my next pick, which is at my number 12 spot. It's the retooled H6 mask that they used for H20, only for that scene where Michael walked in that nurse's house that was taking care of Dr. Loomis before he died, and she's the nurse from Halloween 1 and 2. This is one of those masks I really don't hate, but I kind of like the original H6 sculpt better because it was unique. But for H20, they just smoothed it out to make it look more like a normal Michael Myers mask from like H1, because that one had like a smoother paint job. While I noticed the Thorn trilogy's Michael Myers mask was more textured and bumpy, but it's still a good mask, nevertheless. All right, for my number 11 pick, the mask from Halloween Ends. I love the Blumhouse trilogy and the masks evolution throughout those films. But this one is a little bit lower on my list because I just don't like it being moldy, and plus it's starting to droop a little bit in the face to make it look larger. I think that's what they were going for, is because Michael's been wearing it underneath his little sewer hangout, and it's starting to droop with not only age but moisture and him breathing in it a long periods of time. And it looked kind of nasty with all that cotton looking mold all over it. But I tell you, if that don't creep you in like a dark alleyway, I don't know what would scare you. But it's still creepy though. My number 10 pick is the H4 Michael Myers mask. This one is starting to grow on me as well. I know it's supposed to be another Captain Kirk type mask like the original one was, but it's more of a resculpted Captain Kirk mask that they used instead of like the 70s version. Because to me, this one almost looks like a blank face mime or robotic doll face. Still a cool mask, but it's just not one of my top 5 favorites. Okay, at my number 9 pick, I went with the H20 Stan Winston mask. I'm glad they went to Stan Winston to create this piece because he got what everybody wanted on set, but also what the fans wanted. An emotionless face, but it still has some neat characteristics, and it even pays homage to H1 and 2 a little bit, like with the worn out looking nose for H2, and the face sculpt kind of looks similar to 1. But I think a lot of people did not like this mask because it was like too close to the actor's face, because you could see his eyes. And the whole point about Michael Myers was he was supposed to look like he has the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I get that, but growing up, I still thought that this was a cool Michael Myers mask. I wished I had one of these in my collection. That's a future goal, too. But yeah, I don't have nothing bad to say about this one, even though it's a little bit lower on my list, other than the fact that his eyes were just showing, and they kind of gave this guy a little bit of a electric shock hairdo. All right, now let me show you my number 8 pick, and that is the Halloween Curse of Michael Myers mask. I told you that this was going to be a little bit higher on my list since they used a mask like this one for Halloween H20, but that one was retooled to make it look more smoother for what they were going for their film. But I thought this one was cool, and I love the hairdo that they gave this mask. And I got one of these in my collection, but I hate that Trick or Treat Studios made that darn thing so small. I'm still going to keep it, but I wish I could find an H6 mask that would be a lot larger for us bigger head guys to wear. If there's an option for that, let me know down in the comments. It looked like they were trying to go for the Halloween 4 poster mask. They nailed it. And the face, you could tell a cross between H1 and 4 a little bit. So that's a perfect hybrid. All right. My number 7 pick, the Halloween Kills Burnt mask. I thought this mask was cool when I first saw it, and it kind of gives off like a Two-Face appearance because you got like the plain normal whitish skin tone color on this side, but then over here it's burnt crisp. And I know Michael must have been hot wearing that thing. I thought it was going to get stuck to his face, but apparently people were able to rip it off, especially Karen, and you get to see Michael's burnt skin underneath. Whew, man, Christopher Nelson did a phenomenal job with the effects and the mask, and I think it looks cooler than the Halloween Ends mask, in my opinion. Oh, and especially seeing Michael coming out of that burning house with that fireman's crowbar device and started killing all the firemen with it, and just to see that mask glow in the firelight look really menacing. All right, my number 6 pick is the Halloween Kills Flashback mask. Again, Christopher Nelson did a phenomenal job recreating the original 78 mask, even though people always like to critique how the shadows paint looks on the mask, and it don't look exactly like the original, but hey, they got pretty close in my book. And I think somebody is replicating them right now, but I forgot who the seller was. I saw somebody unbox one. So you can get one, but it won't be Trick or Treat Studios though, unless somebody took a 78 and repainted it, of course. But the likeness is just uncanny to the original. Okay, coming at number 5 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 clean Michael Myers mask. Now, Michael wore this in the very beginning of that film when he was still a child, but I'm including it on this list because it's a white mask, like you know Michael Myers for wearing. I got this one up higher because I just love the detail work that Wayne Toff put into this mask, and I think they were trying to go for more of a marble statue appearance for Michael's mask face, but it came out pretty well. Okay, coming in my number 4 pick is the original Halloween 2 that came out in 1981. I mean, Dick Warlock stretched the mask out, but when he did that, it really made this mask look more intimidating than what Nick Castle did. Don't get me wrong, his mask is still cool. When Dick Warlock was wearing it, it was really creepy, let's put it that way. And plus, when you just see him walking slowly trying to find Laurie in the shadows, really makes your blood jump when you see somebody wearing the mask like this. But it's just something about that original Don Post Captain Kirk mask that gives off a creepy vibe at it by itself when it's converted like this. All right, let's jump over to my number 3 pick, 2018 Michael Myers mask. When I heard this film was coming out and they said all the other films was not going to be canon, it's just going to be Halloween 1, I was like, heck yeah, get a fresh take on the character. And we've been waiting so long for another film, and this one was coming out from Blumhouse. I was hyped, and they really made him terrifying again, that's for sure. It almost looks like old weathered skin. That's why this one is at my number 3 spot. It's a magnificent sculpture done by Christopher Nelson. All right, my number 2 spot is the Rob Zombie H1 Rotted mask. I'll tell you why this one's so higher up on my list, because this was actually the first Halloween movie I ever saw. I haven't seen the first one until like a few years later. And then I started getting hooked on all the Michael Myers fandom. But this is the first time we got to see Michael Myers wearing a cracked and rotting mask than the clean white version. And plus, seeing a dude like Tyler Mane, who's 6'8", wearing this thing, it really makes Michael Myers look terrifying more than the standard clean one. But man, just seeing Michael pulling this mask out of the basement floor, he knocked the dirt off, and I was like, I wouldn't put that on my head because you never know if rats or spiders were crawling in it. He didn't care. He just slipped it right back on and went to town killing people. This one wasn't a good movie. My number 1 pick is, and you probably guess what it is, the classic 1978 Michael Myers mask. I'm telling you, this is the mask that started a franchise. A simple, repainted Captain Kirk mask can become a face of evil. But this is something that will never go away. You'll still see it on T-shirts and other merchandise, and you see Trick or Treat Studios, another independent mask artist, re-releasing this mask to this day. No other mask can scare you out of your seat than this. So I hope you guys enjoy my rank list of all the Michael Myers masks and all the Halloween films. And let me know down in the comments, how would you rank these Michael Myers masks from your least favorite to your all-time favorite? And I'm just thinking about it, and I might end up doing another ranked list, but with the oddball masks that were used in the Halloween franchise. I'm talking about like the ones that were the clown mask that was worn by Michael as a little kid on Halloween, to the Ben Tramer mask in Halloween 2. You know, like just ones that were not even worn by Michael. So stay tuned for that. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and I said that's a wrap, and that's the day, y'all.